You're listening to Brainbuster Radio.
All right, everybody, here we are for this episode of Queenie Chats, and I have a very special returning guest. You may have heard me talk to her before on the very first episode of Queenie Chats, but she's so awesome, I just had to have her back a second time. My girl Kanji is here. Kanji, how are you?
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. I'm great.
Good. Yes, it seems like you are.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster since the last time I spoke to you.
I know. I feel like I talked to you and then I watched your Twitter and I was like, wow, what is happening? This is great.
Yeah, it just blew up like crazy.
I know. I love it. So it's been about 2 months since we talked last. What all has been going on in the life of Kanji? Let's start there.
Oh my. Well, I was invited to a WWE tryout, the first ever all women's NXT UK tryout in the UK at their performance center.
Yeah.
And I was invited there, so it was insane that I just even was invited there, never mind actually do it. So that was crazy. And then I impressed the coaches that much that I was asked to do Download Festival, which is the NXT UK tapings the week after. So I went off and did that, and that's when I made my NXT UK debut.
Girl.
I know.
Wow.
It's
How
amazing.
crazy is that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely insane. Never thought it would happen. Never thought it would happen. And here we are.
And here we are. Well, let's start with the tryout. I'm so curious as to how that experience was for you. What all like went down while you were there, and just tell me everything about it.
It was an amazing experience. Like it was incredible. It was 3-day tryout. And Tony was there. Tony Storm was there for the first day, which was amazing to have her there and watchers and just to see the supporters as women as well, really. So that was a big thing to have her there. Mr. Regal, William Regal, was there as one of the coaches, which was insane just to go and shake his hand.
Yeah, right.
Legend. So even just seeing him there was like a highlight. And then we had James Mason and a few other coaches there who led us through the whole thing. But the whole experience was amazing, just because it was just all women, all of us girls there doing the tryout. So everyone was so supportive and was cheering each other on. And it was just an amazing and lovely environment to be in, really.
Wow. Well, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, it was so nice. I was so happy it was an all women's tryout. It was such a supportive place to be in. It was lovely.
Yeah, I think that's really great that it was all ladies. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, when you were there, did you know any of the other girls? Like, did you happen to be like, oh, hey, I remember you, or I know you while you were there at the tryouts?
Yeah, there was quite a few that I've worked with and been at shows with quite often. So I had friends there, but there was quite a few there who I've never even heard of before. So that was amazing to meet them and hear what their story is and where they've come from and how much they've done. So it was a great experience to meet new people there, and just to have conversations of, talking about what we love and why we love wrestling. We're all in one place because we all want that same thing and we're all working towards the same goal. So it was incredible to see all these different girls from complete different places in the country and some outside of the country. I had some girls from Australia there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was amazing to, welcome them into the country and into NXT UK, I guess.
Yeah, wow. So you said it was a 3-day tryout. How did that break down? Like when you were training and stuff, was it similar to what you did there, or were they testing you? Was it just, move sets? Was it mic skills? What all did they have you kind of run through?
The main thing that the main theme that ran through the whole tryout was like basic rolls, and you're running the ropes and your footwork. That was the main focus really that they wanted to see, because as wrestlers you need to be able to know how to do your forward rolls, your shoulder rolls and backwards roll carefully and safely, because obviously wrestling being a sport where injuries can happen. So you need to, the reason why we drill rolls is so you're protecting your neck if something does go wrong. So they were drilling us on our rolls, and they drilled us a bit on our bumps, so hitting the mat with our backs, just to see how we do them, to make sure everything is safe and we're working safely and we've been trained right. But that was really the main thing that flowed throughout the whole tryout, was just doing certain rolls and sequences with rolls. But the final day we did little matches, so they paired us up and we did 5-minute matches. So that was amazing, because I could turn around now and say I wrestled in front of William Regal.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, which is amazing, incredible.
Yeah, it must have been so surreal for you in that moment to be looking around and like NXT UK is everywhere and you're in the performance center, and
that's it.
Can you speak to like how that made you feel when you were in there having that little 5-minute match and wrestling for William Regal?
It was surreal, because I'd never imagined anything like this to happen to me. Never mind just being able to be in the performance center and wrestle in WWE ring, but to be able to do it in front of someone like William Regal, who I used to watch when I was younger, is insane, because it just really took me back to when I was younger, and when I used to talk to my cousins and my dad about how we want to wrestle, and when we used to come up with our own little matches at home and get told off for fighting on their sofas. And it's like, now I'm actually in a wrestling ring being allowed to wrestle in front of someone I was watching on TV. Like, yeah. I don't think anyone really expects that kind of to be a reality when you only dreamt it when you was younger, or didn't even expect it when you was younger. You just thought, I'd love to do this, and then it actually is a reality. I think it's difficult to take in, really.
Sure, I can imagine so. When anybody meets people that they've seen on television before, it's always like, wow, that's so cool, especially someone you looked up to and admired. Never mind doing the exact same thing that they were doing, and now you're doing it in front of them. So I can imagine that was like crazy, surreal, but so awesome for you, like knowing your personality after speaking with you and watching what you've been doing in the ring. I can imagine for you like such a rush and a positive experience,
Yeah, definitely. It was invaluable. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Well, you obviously impressed them enough to show up at Download Festival. So
yeah.
Can you run me through, like, you did the tryout.
Yeah.
What happened when, like, who called you? Like, how did this all come to be? Because this is so cool. I'm so excited to hear this story.
Yeah, so it was the final day of the tryout. And obviously the coaches are all getting together throughout the tryout when they've seen us do certain things. And they've obviously talking, saying, what their opinions of everyone is. But on the final day, one of the producers came up to me and one of the other girls and just said, that we really impressed the coaches, and they'd like to invite us to Download to be involved in the first ever women's battle royal there for the number one contenders match. So I was freaking out. Like, I was really freaking out. I couldn't wait to get on the phone and ring my mom and tell everyone at home, like, this is happening, but we have to keep it quiet. We can't tell anyone.
Well, sure, yeah.
But yeah, that's how it went down. So it was just the way he told us was just so casual, really. But to us, it was like this is so huge, like the biggest news I could ever imagine to hear, really. So it was insane. So I couldn't wait to get on the phone to my mum just to tell her. And it was like 12 at midnight when I'm trying to call her. So she's in bed freaking out, saying she can't believe it and everything. So yeah, that moment, I'll never forget that moment at all.
That's got to be the coolest thing after you've, put in the effort and the work for that tryout, and it's a huge deal, NXT UK, and they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing for Download Festival? Want to join us? I mean, we want you there." How cool is that to hear? It's got to be so special, and like you said, you were calling your mom, and you're like, "Oh my God." I can only imagine like how that must have felt. Obviously, you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was insane. I did not expect it at all. To be fair, because I walked into the tryout feeling I wasn't ready because I just had 8 whole weeks off with my broken hand. So I was panicking, thinking I'm going to be really messy. I'm not at my best form right now because I haven't had that experience in the ring for 8 whole weeks. So I really didn't feel ready at all. But I got there and I just said, I'm going to try my hardest. I'm just going to do everything I can and just be myself and have a good time, because I think they want to see who we are as a person as well as our wrestling ability, and they're two completely different things. So I wanted to make sure I went in there and showed my bubbly self and have fun and be supportive of the other girls, as well as do my best and work so hard in that ring to show them what I can do.
Yeah. Well, I think it paid off.
Yeah. For them to invite me to the next tapings was so unexpected. So yeah, it really, really surprised me. I was so happy and grateful.
Absolutely. So how long from the tryout to the Download Festival was it?
It was, I think we came back from the tryout on the Friday night, or might have been, I think it was Friday night or Saturday morning, and the tryout we left the next Thursday.
Oh wow!
So we all met in Leicester on the Thursday after, so didn't have much time at all to sort myself out and everything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sounds like it was relatively quick, so you had to kind of get yourself together. So let's talk about Download Festival. So this is a music festival, right?
Yeah.
major music festival, and they had their NXT UK taping. So can you talk about your experience with the taping and how it was for you to come out and make your debut for NXT UK?
It was an incredible experience. It was so different to how the indie wrestling promotions are run. Everything is just incredibly professional. Everything is set up. You've got the staff, you've got the coaches, everyone is backstage, and everyone's got headsets on and they all know what they're doing. There's no one there who's just stood there doing nothing. Everyone is doing everything. They're all running around. So to be involved in that professional environment was incredible. So I think even if I wasn't wrestling, even if I was just there backstage watching, that would have been an incredible, invaluable experience for me just to do that. So me to actually come out from behind the curtain and make a debut in the ring, that was more than what I could even ask for, really. So that was super special. And the thing that made it even more special was that Shawn Michaels was there.
Oh my God, your guy!
So, and he's the one that I've looked up to from when I was so young. He's always been my favorite wrestler. He was the one that when we was younger we used to wrestle on the trampoline. He was the one whose music I came out to through my back door. So to be going from that moment to actually being backstage at Download and shaking Shawn Michaels' hand, that was something that never in my life would I believe would have happened.
Sure.
You know, just seeing him on TV and then to actually come into a moment where I'm meeting him, I didn't know if it was real. I was like, this can't be real. Like something's happened where, you know, this is just not reality. It was insane, absolutely insane.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Um, so before I ask you a little bit more about who else you might have seen there, talk to me about the in-ring experience. What was that like for you working with all these different ladies for the match you were in?
Yeah, because there were so many girls in there who I've never been in the ring with before, who I've
Right.
always wanted to, like Rhea Ripley and Viper,
Mhm.
and Isla Dawn. They're all incredible. So to be in the ring with not just the girls who I aspire to wrestle, but with the rest of the girls who are practically on the top of British wrestling right now, and some of them even the top girls who are wrestling for Japan. Really, that
Mhm.
is that is. I don't have a word to explain how it makes me feel, or what to sum up that experience, because it's just something that I feel so gifted and so honored to actually have that experience and be offered that opportunity to do that, because not everyone would have that opportunity ever, because that was the first ever women's battle royal at
Yeah.
the UK. So, and that was my first experience there, my first debut, and I'm in the ring with all of the girls. It's
Yeah.
incredible, absolutely incredible.
Gotta be wild to think about that. You went to an all-female tryout. Now you're
Yeah,
in the first ever women's battle royal for NXT UK.
yeah,
You're in the ring with these girls, and you're like, "Oh, hey, Rhea Ripley, what's going on?" And you're
yeah,
in like the same space, you know? That's gotta be the absolute coolest, not only as a wrestling fan that you are, but as the actual performer, Kanji, where you're like, "Dude, like I'm here." Right? That's
yeah.
got to be the coolest. All the lights are on you. You're at this big festival. Were you nervous at all?
I was so nervous. Yeah, I
Oh,
just wanted to
God.
do well and show the girls, that I'm grateful to be in there with them, and um, to be able to be in the same ring as them is is huge. And I wanted them to know that I'm grateful and I'm humbled by and all of the girls there, they're so supportive of each other and everyone around them. So they made the experience and the environment so amazing. They really make you feel that you're no different to them, you know?
That's
So
great.
being in the ring, you see them all around the ring in character, and it's like I can't believe this is happening, because you know them from backstage and who they are, and then you're in the ring with them as, Zaya Brookside and
Right.
Kaylee Ray, and you see them being the wrestlers they are and the wrestlers they're known for. So it was absolutely incredible.
God, that's got to be the coolest.
Yeah, can't
I,
wait to do it again.
I was just gonna say, can you wait to do it again?
I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Oh
I
my
hope it's not
goodness.
too long away.
I hope it's not too long away for you too. While you were backstage and stuff, did you get to meet anybody else that you were like, oh wow, this is like really cool. I got to meet so and so.
Yeah, so I got to meet I think practically the whole of the NXT UK roster.
Awesome.
So all the boys were there, and all the girls were there, obviously. But just to be able, because everyone was sat behind backstage and watching the little screen, so watching the show live, and just to sit there with them and hear them, talking and critiquing the show, that's
Hmm.
amazing to hear what they have to say while watching it. Because I think for me, I learned so much in hearing other people critique wrestling shows and wrestlers.
Hmm.
Because I think if someone was to do something and I didn't pick it up, but their opinion was it should have been done in this way, then
Hmm.
I'll know to go off and make sure I do it in that way.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing. I learned so much that way. Um, so yeah, I sat close and listened closely to people like Ligero and Joseph Connors,
Hmm.
and Travis Banks. Hear a lot from them. Um, so yeah, I learned so much just in that aspect of being backstage as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a very supportive environment there, that they are, very supportive of each other, but they want to watch the product and give their opinions and critiques and praises as well, just so,
Yeah.
it becomes the best show that it can be. That's the vibe that I'm getting from what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's so supportive, really, really supportive. And even though it's so professional and so organized,
Hmm.
down to a T, it is also quite laid back in that sense where you do have moments where you can really talk and um, be involved in other people's matches to see how how it's all structured and everything and how they get through it.
Sure.
So it was incredible to be involved in.
Wow. So, what would be your biggest takeaway from the tryout experience and your debut experience at NXT UK?
I think with the tryout, it made me realize that supporting one another and being yourself is one of the main things that I think pro wrestling should depend, whether you're backstage or whether you're part of the audience or whether you're in the ring. I think the main thing is being able to support the people around you so much, um, because if the people you're with are happy, then you're happy, and then you can do your best. So always make sure that that's one of my biggest things, to do, not just in pro wrestling when I'm at shows, but everywhere really. I think that's one of the biggest things. Because when we was at the tryout, the coaches just kept saying, make sure you're supporting each other. So even they are pushing it on us that, being supportive of one another is such a huge thing. And that's what
Sure.
they look out for. Debut wise, I think I think the biggest thing is respect. Being
Mm,
able to respect everyone around you, not just if they're higher up from you in like the hierarchy of talent or coaches. Um, I think just respect everyone who's around you, whether they're an audience member or whether they are a coach. That is such a huge thing, and I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. Obviously, I go to shows and I respect everyone.
mhm.
I would never ever disrespect anyone on a show or anywhere, but it's a huge thing, and they kept pushing it on you. Make sure you shake everyone's hand and you're really respectful to everyone. So that's they're the biggest things I'm taking away, really.
Oh, that's so cool. It's like, what we were talking about just a few minutes ago about, the supportive environment. That
Yeah,
really resonates, right? It's very
yeah,
respectful and everyone's on your side and on your team. And that
yeah,
for you as a performer must feel really great. I know the first time we spoke, we talked about that in some of the indie promotions you've worked with, how you had that same sort of feeling and how it made you, want to do your best and
yeah,
be the best. So I can imagine going to NXT UK and being a part of the WWE in that way made you go, wow, like this is really cool that it's here also.
yeah. That's it, definitely. So yeah, I really focus on that, making sure, because obviously I've seen at just the indie shows that I feel that when people support me and are really supportive of me, I do my best because I've experienced that. I know now that that's what I want for everyone. That's what I want from everyone, to be happy and do the best they can. So to do that, I've got to be that supportive one as well.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Positivity breeds positivity, right?
that's
And
it,
I, and I
exactly.
and I think that that's an excellent mentality to have as a performer. But I mean, hopefully there's some next things for you with
Yeah,
that. I would love to see you there sometime again, I'm sure you would too.
yeah, I would love to, really love to. I'm just holding on for that moment, holding on for it.
Good. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, you're quite the busy lady. So you have a lot of stuff upcoming. I think you even have a show this weekend, correct?
Yes, I have two this weekend.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
two. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a show down in London with Southside
Mhm.
Wrestling Entertainment, And then on Sunday, I'm making my debut for NGW, which is a really big show here in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, as we talked about the first time, you have something coming up with Wrestling Resurgence. a little something happening there.
Just a little show.
So, yeah. No big deal. Just an Iron Woman match.
It's just that's it.
I know, right? So you have that coming up. And then I also heard that with Southside, you're going to have a title match. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
July. So I'm super excited for that. I'm so excited because Southside, for me, I made my debut at Southside last year, June, so around this time last year. And that wasn't supposed to happen. I was just going to watch. And then they were down a wrestler. So luckily I took my wrestling gear and they asked me to wrestle for them. So I did. And because they were so happy with the match I put on, they keep bringing me back. For me to make my debut without it being planned, it was just a one-off. For me to be having a title shot this time a year after, that's insane. And Southside have done so much for me. They're one of my favorite promotions to work for. So to have this opportunity and to see the people who have held the Queen of Southside, and for me to possibly be in that line, that is unreal. I'm so happy. I can't wait.
Oh my God, I think that's going to be so much fun. Gosh, you have a lot of things happening, girlfriend, and I'm so excited for you for these shows that you're doing for this weekend and for your title shot in July, and then of course this Iron Woman match with Resurgence. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Are you ready for that?
The Iron Woman's match before the Southside, before the title shot the Southside, the Iron Woman's match is the one I'm looking forward to so much. Like I really can't wait. And I'm making sure that I'm training so hard at training, and I'm making sure everything I do at shows are really safe so I don't get hurt by accident. As much as I can, because I want to be the best, in the best form and in my best mindset for this Iron Woman's match, because I'm so excited. And it's such a huge thing. Like it's completely everywhere, and you've got fans cancelling other shows to be in the audience. So, you know, we have to put on a special show.
Oh, I think you're going to put on a very special show. I think it's going to be a real awesome thing to witness with, you know, Charlie Evans and yourself. You know, you've had great matches with her before. We've talked about that the last time we spoke, but I feel like this one's going to be extra special.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh, Kanji. Well, I can't thank you enough for giving me some of your time today to chat about all of your amazing experiences in the last 2 months since we spoke. It's only up from here, girl. I'm so excited for you. Can you please tell the listeners where they can find you and just remind them of the things that you are doing next?
Yeah, so you can catch me on Instagram at Kanji Duku. You can also catch me on Twitter at Kanji Duku. And I also have a fan page on Facebook, which is just Kanji, and you'll be able to find me on there. I do regular updates on Instagram and Twitter of what I'm up to and where you can find me. So keep an eye out for there, and just give me a follow and say hi. Give me a hi.
Yeah, definitely give her a hi. She's so very nice, and you know, one of my favorite people that I've met since I started podcasting. So, you know, thank you so much again for coming on Queen's Court for Queenie Chats.
Thank you. I love it. I love this. I really do.
Good. You're welcome anytime you want.
Thank you. You're so great. You're awesome.